Hi all, so I'm going to do a book for you. I'm going to try and be quick. So this is Poison Study by V.Snyder, and I finished this a few nights ago. And I would give this book at least a 4 out of 5, probably a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was a very good read, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so the plot, I think, is fairly obvious, and girl is saved from execution by being offered to be the poison taster for the commander's food in this territory of Ixia and stuff, and then we find out more about her past and her abilities, and her relationships with people grow and change and all that kind of good stuff. So, story-wise, certainly kept me interested, and I was especially keen to know more and more about the backstory that Yelena had, and what had gone on to inform how she was now. I liked that it took a while to find things out. You know, I liked that it was a sort of slow-building release of information. That worked well, I think. And it was some horrific stuff that we found out, and I do not blame her at all for murdering that bastard, because it was awful what happened to her, I'll say that much. So he certainly got what he deserved. And I do like that it, from the beginning, we were sort of made aware immediately of the fact that she had these abilities that we still don't know what they are really, and they come out at really odd times. But I like that was there from the very get-go, and that became something that was actually linked into all the horrible stuff she'd gone through, as opposed to just it had kind of been lying dormant for a long time, but the way that it came out was so horrible as well. So that added more to motive for what she did too. And trying to think, characters, Yelena, obviously she's our protagonist, and at times I felt a little detached from her, and it wasn't, I honestly can't pinpoint why. It wasn't that I felt she was emotionally distant or anything. I like that she was so distrusting for a long time, and that it did take her quite a while to be opening up to anybody, but that's obviously a very realistic, sort of genuine thing, very believable. There were just moments where I was thinking, I'm not really feeling you, Yelena, and I honestly can't say why, because I think she was written quite well. But I still did care about her. I was certainly very sympathetic towards what she'd gone through, and how much she was trying to erase that from her mind, and the idea of how it was weighing on her, all this guilt. Not necessarily, well, guilt, I guess, but that it was haunting her. It was really sad. Her relationships with people, of course we have Valak, who is her sort of boss, I guess, and you know from the outset, you know that's going to be the romantic pairing, but I wasn't sure how I'd feel, because I didn't honestly, kind of like Yelena, I didn't know for a long time how I felt about Valak, because he is completely unapologetic about what he's done, about the violence that has been in his career, and his motivations for some of the crimes, I guess, that he's committed as well. He doesn't apologize for that, and I don't think he's ever going to. So I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if I want my protagonist to be with this guy or not, because he has blatantly killed people, and that's just what he's done. And he could be very cold at times, and it wasn't the sort of it was never kind of reasoned out. You know how often you'll have your bloody romantic hero who is so cold towards the girl, and yet it's like later on he's like, oh, I was only doing it to protect you, or I was trying to make you not like me so that you could be safe, and all of this nonsense. And that's not the case with Valak. He's just kind of a cold guy sometimes, and I kind of like that, because it wasn't explained away. It's just a facet of his personality, I guess, but that did take a long time to warm to him. Warm to him because he's cold. But I did come to like him in the end. I did prefer, it's sort of like how I felt when I read Graceling and Poe and Katza were friends for a long time. I wouldn't really call Yelena and Valak friends so much for the majority of the book, but whatever exactly their relationship was, I was liking that a lot. I'd come to be quite accustomed to it and find it very familiar. and I didn't necessarily want it to change, even though I knew that at some point she was going to realise her feelings and vice versa, and they were going to come together. I sort of didn't want that to happen a bit. But it did, and you know, it was perfectly nice. I love that everyone bitched in Graceling about the fact that they, you know, got together and had a sexual relationship and, you know, they weren't going to get married or anything. Whereas, I mean, no talk of marriages occurred in this one, and from what was written, I mean, it was tons of metaphors and vague descriptions for it, but pretty certain these two got it on, and I don't find any issue with that, so double standards, people? I don't know. The relationships, I remember tons of reviewers talking about how much they love Ari and Jenko and their friendship with Yelena, and I completely agree. That was really cute, and it was a fresh thing. It came in at the right time in the story, and I really like those characters, and I certainly want to see them again in the future. The villains were very villainy, sort of. As I've said before, I mean, the character of Rayed, or however you pronounce his name, and his dad Brazel, they're both assholes, and I'm glad what happened to them, to say the least. I'm really interested in the commander, because he's very, his secret that we find out was certainly a random throw-in. Also, his personality is curious. You don't quite know what kind of guy he is, but he's very straightforward with everything he does, but I still don't know how I'd classify him, which is nice, because human beings don't often fit into a category of good or bad or whatever. So, yeah, I kind of like that character, sort of. The world felt very real and physical. I was upset that there was no map. I mean, if anything, this is a book that I felt would certainly have a map, because we're in two territories, Sitia and Ixia, and these are completely unknown to the readers, and I thought, cool, a map, I love when I have maps, because I flip back to it all the time, like, oh, we're right there, and then they're going there, and that's... But there was no map. Made me sad. There's no map. I've started Magic Study, no map. I'm assuming there's no map in Fire Study. I want maps. Anyway. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I honestly can't think of anything else, but yeah, I liked the writing style. I liked, like, supporting characters and things, the fact that there was still lots of intrigue going on around Yelena's character in the castle and that, and how she was with, like, the rest of the staff and things. Yeah. Can't think of what else to say, really, but I did enjoy the read. Certainly did. And I look forward to continuing with the series. Even though I am getting pressed to return the books to the library because they're overdue. I'm kind of just ignoring that right now and trying to read them. So I am on to Magic Study. I'm not very far into it at all, only about 40 pages. But I will try and read it quickly, and yeah. So that's that for now. And I'll see everybody soon, and happy reading. And there's the cover of the book again. Pretty colours. Bye.